Tony Stagno had given his new one-star general a mission: find Frank Sinatra and induct him into Franco's Italian army. The esteemed Sinatra, then in the midst of a short-lived retirement, lived in Rancho Mirage, about 10 miles west of Palm Springs. On the surface, the idea must have sounded ludicrous. Why would one of America's most famous singers, a legendary symbol of artistry, romance, and success, want to join a little band of football fans from Pittsburgh? Why would he even know that Franco Harris existed? But Myron did not question the orders. He and Stagno shared a desire for fun, a flair for winning attention, and, critically for this mission, a potent reserve of chutzpah. The events that transpired became a landmark moment in Myron's career. So it seems fitting to let Myron describe the events in his own words. He gave his most extensive account of Sinatra's induction in a 1990s speech to, of all things, the Western Pennsylvania Cemetery Association. More than 20 years had passed, but Myron seemed to recall every detail like the whole thing had happened the week before.
So I get out to Palm Springs, and I start putting out lines to people who claim to be, he's my compa. No problem, Myron. All these people are going to get me Sinatra. So the days go by, and it is Wednesday night, and I am having dinner in a fancy restaurant called Lord Fletcher's, in the company of about a dozen media types and Steeler front office types. And I am sitting across the table from a man named Jim Boston, who was the Steelers' traveling secretary, known to his intimates, such as myself, as Buff Boston. He's a large man with a funny balding, with a funny head shaped like a football. So Buff Boston says to me, "How is your mission coming? Have you gotten Sinatra?" I says, "No." And I says, "I'm through with that because I am supposed to be having a good time in Palm Springs, and I'm tied up with this Sinatra business. The heck with it." And he says, "Well, don't give up yet." And he's facing the front door. He says, "Don't give up yet, because here comes your man through the front door." Yes, turn around. There he is, the great Sinatra. He is in the company of Leo DeRocher, the controversial baseball manager, and Ken Venturi, the great pro golfer, and a tall, good-looking brunette woman. Okay, they're shown to a table on the other side of the restaurant. Everybody at our table say, "Here's your chance, Coach. Here's your chance. Get into action. Settle down. Take a cocktail napkin. Right, dear Mr. Sinatra, we are a party of reporters and front office people traveling with the Pittsburgh Steelers," and I tell them what the deal is and everything. And Franco's Italian army has had national publicity that's well known by now throughout the country. And I tell him we would like him to appear tomorrow at practice to be inducted as a one-star general, and that I hope I'm not interrupting his dinner. And I sign it, and I write, "P.S. Franco's from Hoboken," which was Sinatra's hometown. Well, Franco was from New Jersey, but it was a damn lie. He was from Mount Holly. But what the hell? You do what you gotta do. And I call Lord Fletcher over. I hand him the cocktail napkin. I said, "Would you mind delivering this to Mr. Sinatra? If it's an intrusion, don't do it." He looks at it, he chuckles, he said, "No problem." Goes over. These guys at the table, they say, "He's got the note. He's reading the note." I said, "Well, you quit embarrassing me. Settle down here." They said, "He's getting out. He's getting out." It was much rumored for some years that Frank Sinatra bet a few dollars on football games, like about 10 grand a game. Those were the rumors. I didn't know if they were true or not. And also, for that week in Palm Springs, Terry Bradshaw from the previous game, was suffering a dislocated pinky on his throwing hand. And it was a source of great anxiety to all Steeler fans, as well as bettors across the country and other football fans. Could he throw the football? And early in the week, I had spoken to the Emperor Chaz Nola about this, And he said to me, don't worry about a thing. He says, this guy is throwing it better than he's ever thrown it in his career, because now instead of throwing it into a guy's chest and it coming out the back of the receiver, he's taking something off the ball. He has to, and he's throwing the perfect pass. So, okay, I know that. And Sinatra puts that chair down, and confirming the rumors about his being a wagering man, the first words out of his mouth are, how's the quarterback's finger? I says to myself, it's true.